So, Jamie, favorite cartoon show from childhood? What's that for you?
Probably Doug.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Doug is an interesting choice. Why Doug?
I think I like low key had a crush on Doug and I like
Oh,
wanted to be Patty Mayonnaise. I really liked Rugrats too. And so they came on back to back on Saturday mornings. But Doug was probably my ultimate favorite.
okay. The opening sequence to Doug's show was always so wild. It was just like it was the creativity that was in it was beautiful, and
Yeah.
the theme song was amazing. So I rock with that.
Do 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 do. Okay.
Exactly, I rock with that. If you could live in any TV show universe, cartoon or otherwise, where would you want to live?
Oh God. Hey Arnold's bedroom.
Oh, all right. So, Hey Arnold, that's my favorite Nickelodeon TV show of all time. So, okay,
That
cool.
bedroom is amazing. Like I just want to live in the bedroom. Like I don't have to be anywhere else but the bedroom.
Love it. Okay. So you have good taste in media. I like that. Getting into your content creation journey, I remember the first time I came across your content, which is Millennial Misery, and you're basically like a content
Yeah.
creator in a
Yeah.
way, and everything that is posted on your page hits me right in the feels, right in the childhood, right in the nostalgia. And I think it was like summer 2022. And I was like, oh yeah, I gotta follow this page. I I can't not follow Millennial Misery. So tell me about how you got started with
Yeah.
consecration with Millennial Misery or just in general, even before that.
Yeah. So I actually run a couple of pages.
Mhm.
And my first one is Humorous Resources, which is like a corporate humor page. And I started that in September of 2020. I was working obviously in HR and I was working for a healthcare company and I just kind of felt like I was losing my mind with like COVID and stuff. So I created an outlet because I was making memes for my personal page, but my page was on private. And one of my friends was like, why don't you make a page? I'm like, who the hell thinks I'm funny? So I did, but I wanted to also, like, I was seeing such funny things on TikTok and I was seeing funny memes that I wanted to share them. But one thing I wanted to do different than like the big meme pages was actually credit the creators. And
Mm.
that's something that I'm very passionate about because I know I'm not the funniest person in the whole world, but I want to make sure that I'm crediting the people. Like, so I'll go through great lengths to make sure I find their Instagram if I find it on TikTok or vice versa, and make sure I'm properly tagging them. Like, not only I put it in the caption, but I also tag them. So that's something I wanted to do different. So I started to grow pretty quickly with Humorous, and I was like, I had so much millennial content, but I didn't know if it would even take off. But I really wanted to share it because I'm an elder millennial. And it was before there was this big boom of like nostalgia culture. And so I created Millennial Misery in July of 2021 and it exploded because so many people, like you said, they see something, they're like, oh my God, right. It hits you right in your feels, you know?
When you first started, did you ever deal with any you mentioned dealing with a little bit of self-doubt, but like other feelings of like starting a page from scratch and thinking, is this going to take off? Like, how did you navigate those feelings?
I think for me, I was like, even if I make one or two people laugh, I've already like done a good job. It was more a creative outlet for me per se than like building an empire. It's become that now. Like Millennial Misery will probably hit 1 million by the end of this month. That's wild to me that there's 1 million people out there that appreciate my content and my memes, but I never anticipated that because I was truly just doing it because it was fun and it was an outlet for me. So I think I've approached it differently than some people who are like looking for fame when I just genuinely wanted to have fun.
Mentioning the other platforms that you're with. So human resources, Millennial Misery, but then there's also a podcast and like
Yeah.
part of like a media team of sorts. So say more about that.
It's kind of funny that you become friends with people like me and you. Like I've obviously posted your things and we've chatted back and forth. So you just become friends with other creators. I had someone reach out who's become like a good friend, and she was like, "Hey, would you want to do a podcast?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I would." And next thing you know, we're signed to a podcast agency, and we hit number 7 on the Apple podcast charts. Like, I don't think any of us expected it, but I mean, it's incredible. And it's called HR Bestie. So when you're in a profession like HR, most people have no idea what you do, but they automatically hate you. So it's been really great to kind of shift the narrative a little bit, not only with my meme pages, but also with this podcast, and be like, we are people too. We can be silly and stupid. And now we have a podcast.
What's the journey for getting signed to a podcast network?
We got really lucky. So the 2 other girls that I'm with, Ashley Hurd, she's manager method, and then Lee Henderson, which is HR Manifesto. They were both signed to Viral Nation. I am not signed. A lot of meme pages don't get signed because there's really just not a reason to, because we're sharing other people's content. So we had talked to Viral Nation, but we would have had to produce it and everything ourselves, which if you're looking to do a podcast and you have time to produce it, edit it, promote it yourself, highly suggest doing that. But we actually were lucky enough that Ashley happened to bump into someone. His name is Jeff Dollar and Callie Dollar, and they have a podcast agency. And Jeff Dollar was formerly on The Burt Show. So he's a big radio person, previously a big radio person. Now he has a daily podcast with his wife. That's fantastic. And I think they've had it for like 5 years now. But we just happened to connect with them, and they were like, we'd love to have you. And here we are. Our 2nd episode's out today. Like, I mean, I don't think any of us expected this. So
that is incredible. That is, because oftentimes you think, oh, I'm just posting on social media, but you never expect it to take you to so many different rooms.
No, really. I mean, if you would have told me 3 years ago, because Humorous, I started in September of 2022, so it's been about 3 years. If you would have told me, hey, in 3 years, you're going to have a hit podcast, I've been like, you fucking lying. Or you're going to have 1 million followers on social media. I'd be like, no, like, there's no way. I would have never, but I'm grateful for it. And I feel like on Millennial Misery, we have this like amazing group of people. And I can't tell you, first of all, I respond to all my DMs because I like having an interaction with the people that follow. But like, I can't tell you how many DMs I've received on Millennial that being like, when I come to your page, I just feel happy instantly. And it feels like my childhood. And it's like, or they'll tell me a really sweet story, like, oh, my brother at Christmas got the Super Nintendo, and I was so upset, but he let me play it, and it's like, I love that shit. Like, I live for those DMs, and I really do respond like, oh my god, thank you so much for sharing that. That's amazing. Or I want to take a second because they took a second to reach out to me. So that's so. I mean, I'm a cheesy like HR girl, so that's like really rewarding to me, because like I've created something that I never knew that was even possible.
And that is a very crucial element of content creation, where you're posting something that prompts a response. Like it prompts an emotional response specifically.
Yeah.
When you're scrolling through social media, you're scrolling with your emotions.
Yep.
Honestly, 1 minute you're laughing at a cat video, next minute a news report.
You might be crying.
You might be. So when you post intentionally and you engage intentionally, that's also really important.
Yes.
When people take time to comment on your stuff or send you a DM and you take time to respond back with, like, it's human to human interaction. You put in the social in social media.
For sure.
What more can we ask for?
Yeah. And that's why it's so important for me. I mean, sometimes I'll log on in the mornings and I'll have like between 20 and 40 DMs, and like I'll go through them and I will try to respond to all of them. I mean, some of them, if it's just like laughing, I'm not going to respond to all of them, but I really like, and there's people that have followed me since the beginning that if I don't hear from them, I will check on them. I'm like, you good, girl? I hadn't heard from you in a couple days, because I just genuinely have made connections with people. And like I said, I'm an empath by nature, so I just can't help myself, really feeling for people that are for some reason following me.
As a content creator, have you dealt with burnout?
A little bit. I mean, I think, one thing it's funny is I think they say find your niche and then just keep doing it over and over. But I get bored with that, and I don't want to do my same shtick over and over. So I'm constantly being inspired by other content creators, but some days I just don't feel like filming, because I also do my own skits on millennial and humorous TikTok. And sometimes I just don't feel like filming. Like I might have an idea, but I cannot work myself up to do it. And I do try, especially because I do have a full-time job, I do try to do batch filming. So when I'm actually feeling like a rock star, I'll try to film like, I don't know, 4 to 5 videos if I can, because of all the ideas I have. But some days it's hard. And then, maybe you're having like a mental health day and you just don't want to post. I just don't. And I know that sucks. And people probably rely on me, but I'm like, I just can't. Like, I don't want to be creative today. And I think that's okay. We all have to take those breaks for ourselves.
That is really important to just say out loud, because on social media, it's literally a 24-hour cycle.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you could never go to the bathroom, never shower, never eat, and you would never scroll to the end of anybody's timeline.
Nope.
So making sure to take time for yourself as a content creator and saying, I don't have to be on all the time. They're going to have other pages that they follow. There's millions of other pieces of content that will keep them occupied. It'll be okay if I don't post for a day or so. What's the longest you've gone without posting?
Probably a weekend. That's I'm like, not only do I have a full-time job, but I'm a mom, and then like my kids have sports, and we might literally be at the ball field all day one Saturday, and then on Sunday I'm exhausted and I have laundry to do, and so really probably only 48 hours. But I also, like, when I'm on vacation too, like I might only post like once or twice a day, because I try to post like at least 4 times a day I actually have 3 accounts, so I try to post often, daily, but sometimes you're just not gonna. And it's the thing is, if people like my pages, they're not gonna unfollow, they're probably not even gonna notice that I didn't post, so I try not to I try not to worry about it, like if I don't post.
Now, going back to what you mentioned about skits and such, could you walk me through your creative process, like taking an idea and bringing it to life? How does that work for you?
Yeah, so one that I was very proud of, and it didn't get much love, and that's okay, because sometimes it's always the ones that you really put a lot of thought in and a lot of work that like don't do well, but that's okay. Was the practice football moms. It's on Millennial Misery. It's a TikTok. So my son plays tackle football, and it's just funny to see all the moms. And so I'm literally all those moms that I played. It's really taken everyday life, and like even if it's a mundane task, like this morning I posted one because I have a candy bowl in my office at work, and I literally came in today. I worked from home yesterday, and it's barren. I'm like, some motherfucker came in here and ate all of my shit. Like, so some of it's like very off the cuff, like it just happens, or some are just, they've been in my head for a while and I want to get them out. But also it's like, sometimes it's just the really simple ones. Like I posted 90s car seats on Millennial Misery, and it's over 2 million. I'm like, what? Like it's always the ones that took me 2 seconds to make and like 0 thought. But then the ones that I'm actually like writing a script out get like 1,000 views. Like, whatever. I don't understand the algorithm. I'm just going to keep doing what I like to do. And if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
And that's a crucial point with also avoiding burnout, where you're not chasing an algorithm. You're not chasing external validation. You're literally just posting the stuff that you actually care about. And
100%.
Like when you look back at your own page, I know you be cackling. I know you're laughing at your own stuff. You have to be. Like you probably laugh at your stuff like you didn't even make it. Like it was like, I was there and this is still hilarious. Like that.
I made a meme, like I guess it was 2 weeks ago, about those weird Claire's earrings that were like, they looked like literally COVID. And I get on Facebook at least once daily, and I keep seeing it pop up on Facebook, and it makes me laugh every time. I'm like, well, I'm glad the Facebook community loves it, because like Facebook's odd, right? But I'm like, I'm glad that it made its way to Facebook and they're sharing it and getting all these likes and stuff on it.
What are some things that people would be surprised to know about you off social media? Like you mentioned HR professional, you mentioned parent, and
Yeah.
it's like, what other skills and talents does Jamie have?
When a lot of people learn that I don't do this full time, like content creation, they're shocked that I have like a full time job. That I'm like, I still, I work like a lot of hours, and I'm a mom, and they're, I'm heavily involved in their outside activities, and I have a husband, and you know what I mean? So I think a lot of people are like, well, how, do you have time in the day for all this? How do you post? And one thing that I'm good about is like I get up pretty early because I have to, and I'll try to post on all pages, one or two posts, because I'm not one. I know you actually posted something about this the other day, and I agree. There's all these things that you should post this time and you should post this time. My thing is like, just fucking post it. If someone's gonna like it, they're gonna like it, and then they're gonna share it regardless of if you post it at 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. Like, I understand what you're saying, but it truthfully, it doesn't matter. So I've just kind of learned to like fit it around my life, and I like will pre-schedule post. And so I do a lot of stuff early in the morning when my kids are still sleeping, and then like later at night when I'm putting them to bed, to kind of fit everything in. And then during the day, I'll like check it and I'll try to respond to DMs and stuff. But that's kind of my life outside. And now it's this podcast, and we're going to be recording that weekly. So that's like another chunk of time we will be committing to whatever this is. And hopefully one day I can quit my corporate job. Yeah. That was definitely never my goal, my end goal, but it would be nice eventually. I think that's another huge misconception too, though, about having like 1 million followers. That doesn't equate to money. There's no amount of money that we're getting for posting reels or skits. The memes I come up with, or posting anyone else's memes, like I'm getting $0 for that. So sometimes I'll get DMs from someone, and they'll say some smart ass comment. And I'm like, okay, like I don't really care, because I'm doing this for free, literally for you guys. Like this could all end tomorrow and it wouldn't be a hit on me, right? The only time we get paid is if brands reach out to us and they say, will you do this? And I'll be honest, I've been, and it truthfully, because I have the ability to be picky, but I have been picky. I want it to make sense. I'm not trying to bombard my followers with some bullshit ads. I want it to be a product that I have used or I enjoy using, or you know what I mean? I want it to be authentic. And so you'll see a lot of meme pages here recently with like these random things like pimple patches and cleaners, and those people reach out to me too. And I'm like, look, as much as I'd love your $500, like I'm good. Like, if it's like DoorDash, yes, please, DoorDash, I use you all the time. Or you know what I mean? Or like TJ Maxx or Marshalls, yes, please, I would love to be sponsored by you, but I want it to make sense. And that's one thing that I'm also very passionate about, is like, we're doing this shit because we enjoy it, but we're getting $0 from it.
That was actually going to be one of my questions, because like you mentioned, being able to do it full time, where content creation replaces a need for full time.
Yeah.
But I was about to ask the process of getting paid to create content or post content, and you mentioned brand deals and stuff like that. Yeah, actually say more about that. Actually.
Yeah. So obviously brands reach out to you and they will pay you for sponsored posts. But you'll I also, my email's flooded also with affiliate programs where they're like, okay, you buy this from us, we'll give you a 10% discount, and then we're going to pay you a little tiny bit commission off of every. I'm like, no, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. But so then you have other ways, so I added subscribers to my platforms. I've seen $0 from that so far, but essentially people can subscribe and they get I'll try to post like a special story for subscribers or special stuff for subscribers. I think I made it $2.99 a month, but that's one way. Like I said, I've seen $0 from that. I know I have subscribers, but I have not seen any money from that. Another way too is like, obviously I'm doing this podcast. As of right now, I've lost money on it because we had to pay a photographer for money. We had to pay a website designer, but eventually, hopefully we'll be in the green because brands are now reaching out to us and asking to be an ad on our podcast. Matter of fact, this week we'll have one on our podcast. So like but you have to make a name for yourself before you're going to be accepted by brands, or like people want to give you free shit. Like, no offense, sure, send me free stuff, but I'm not being paid for it. Like, I would, if I love your socks and you gave them to me for free, I will absolutely shout you out, but like that doesn't pay anything for us. So I think, you could be a huge sellout and you could make bank. I'm just not there yet. Like, I really have worked hard to create and curate these pages, and I don't want to sell them out for a little bit of money. Like, it's just not worth it to me. And so that's where I'm at.
I guess most of your more viral content comes from the curated pages, but have you ever been recognized from social media?
No, never. Which is so cool to me because my two other co-hosts on HR Besties, they get recognized all the time, especially Lee. Lee's gorgeous. First of all, she's tall and she has these gorgeous eyelashes. So people recognize her all the time, but I never have. But I also think it's because I'm really more behind the scenes. Like, I show my face, but it's not often. So no, I've never been recognized. And I think that's kind of cool. To be honest, like, no one knows. And of course I don't like bring it up, I'm not like telling my children's friends, oh, by the way, I might be hitting 1 million soon, like that, so
kind
no
of a
one
big
really,
deal.
like, obviously close friends know, but people at work don't know. Well, they might, and they just might be keeping it on the DL. So it's kind of, it's kind of fun, to be honest.
That is fascinating. Like, I've come across other people that have interesting stories of being recognized in real life, and it's like, wait, this is real life. You recognize me. Whoa.
I know. I would probably be like, ooh, can we take a picture? Because you're the first person that's ever recognized me.
You want to take a picture with them?
Yeah, I want to take a picture with you. This is a really cool experience for me. Yeah, no, I'm surprised that, I mean, and maybe people have, and I just have resting bitch face and they're scared to come up to me. I don't know.
Now, in the vein of millennial nostalgia, I wonder, what was high school Jamie like?
Oh God.
Take us back.
Well, okay. So high school Jamie went to a school in a very rich suburb of Nashville. But high school Jamie was not rich, not even a little bit. She lived in a condo with her mom, literally on the outskirts of town, just enough so I was in the school district. So I got made fun of a lot for, like, I didn't have the newest jeans, or my jeans were Walmart, or they were TJ Maxx, or you know what I mean? So I kind of got like that front, but I also took no shit. And I've always been very outspoken. So if you were making fun of someone else, I was going to stick up for them. And so don't get me wrong, I had a great group of friends in high school, and we all are still pretty close to this day, of like a group of girls and a few guys. But I honestly, I didn't even go to my graduation. Like, that's how much I hated high school. Like, it just wasn't for me. Like, for instance, I got voted funniest. Go figure, right? But they gave it to a more popular girl. So in the yearbook, she's in there. So it's just kind of like, it's that kind of shit. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever. I don't know. High school Jamie was a goofball though. She like was the class clown. She was a good time, but to say the least, it was not the greatest high school experience. I was lucky I had really good friends though. We all got through that terrible school.
So what's some advice you would give to high school Jamie now as an adult?
I'd be like, hang on, girl. I promise you it gets better. I wouldn't even tell her that you're about to have 1 million followers, because she wouldn't know what the fuck that means. She'd be like, what? Yeah. Or even social media for that matter. She would have no idea. I'd be like, AOL, you know that?
I just heard the AIM door open and close just now. You said that. Okay,
so mine, whenever I message someone, I set it to Big Pimpin', and it would go do 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 do, and it literally still, I get so much joy when I hear that song because it's like that dopamine rush of whenever I sent a message on AIM. Do 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 do.
I didn't even know you could change the sentence like that.
Yeah. And so yeah, so like when people receive my message, that's what they would hear.
I feel like I squandered my AIM days.
I know, what the hell? It wasn't just a bidum.
What was like your favorite gift that you received from childhood? Like a favorite plaything or like experience? Like what was that for you?
So okay, so the first one is my talk boy. I thought it was so cool. And I didn't have the girl talk, I didn't have the talk girl, I had the talk boy. I thought that thing was so cool because I could change my voice and like it was like handheld, and I just thought it was so neat. And I had way too much fun with that, like pranking my mom like at work, and I'd be like, and like it was a man's voice, and I don't know, that talk boy was way too much fun. But my second, that it still brings me so much joy. Like I want to play it today, but they don't, like, to get it on eBay. It's like $400. Mall Madness. Oh my god, that game! I like still quote it. The Fashion Boutique. That game was just chef's kiss. I mean, the creators of that game, bravo, because that was like the best board game. I actually had one of my followers from Millennial Misery painted me this amazing abstract Millennial Misery painting. I mean, Mall Madness painting, and I have it in my office. It's so cool. I'm like, I would get a Mall Madness tattoo. I mean, I won't because that'd be weird, but I would.
I won't, but I would.
I will think about it.
That is so amazing when what you're putting out creatively inspires creativity in somebody else. That is amazing.
I mean, I hope, like, because I get inspiration from people and pages. I mean, I hope that I'm inspiring people too.
And when you really think about it, like, and I made a video about this literally just this morning. Like, we're all on the same internet. So quite literally, like we're all in it together. And the only difference between somebody who's just watching videos versus making videos, it just hitting post or hitting share.
Yeah.
That's it. Like we're all still just humans at the very end of the day. We all still have like real life problems outside of social media at the very end of the day. It's important to not get like so consumed with it to the point where it's like it's draining, it leads to burnout. But also it leaves you like questioning your own life and your own human experience.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
I want to know how you came up with the uncultured 12-year-old. That's like genius. I love that.
So started TikTok January 7th, 2022. And the uncultured 12-year-old in 2023 started off as uncultured 11-year-old in 2022.
Oh, so, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's aging. His birthday is January 7th. But that was my very first video on TikTok. And it got over 100,000 views.
Oh, wow.
I was like, wait a minute. Wait 1 second. Because because I didn't want to get on TikTok because I was mourning Vine still.
Yeah.
I was like, man, TikTok is gonna go away like Vine did. I want my heart broken again. So I just made that one video, and then I said, okay, anytime I make a video just in the back of my mind, like it's part of my creative process, I have the idea, and then I think, can I make 100 of these in various ways? So in Uncultured, when I started, I was like, I could make this and take this all the way down the street and around the corner.
Yeah.
So it started off as just an idea. And specifically because I understood that TikTok was mostly Gen Z population, I wanted something that still spoke to like me and my lived experience as millennial, but also something like bridge the gap and like connected millennial and Gen Z in a way where I was like relevant to a wider range of
yeah.
people. So that's how it started.
Really smart.
Yeah, that's how it started. Because I was like, I want to make sure that this plays on something that prompts a response to the generation. You'd be surprised at how many people who say, well, I'm 11 and I know what that is. Or I'm 12 and I remember doing that.
They're like, why the hell are you on TikTok?
And it's like, well, you commented, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's engagement, ain't it? I
You
like
got that
it.
algorithm going. It's funny. I've had like other conversations with content creators, and they were like, I hate when people comment that they don't agree. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. Come on, algorithm. Fight in my comments, please. Y'all don't realize you're boosting my views.
On every like comment that provokes an emotion is the most valuable type of content. And
Yeah.
but you got to be careful though with like some people have bad intentions. We do not have bad intentions. So we're
No,
prompting
no.
good emotions. We're prompting like, oh yeah, right in the feels. Or it's like, oh, I'm prompting like, oh, I identify with this in a
Yes.
good way. If you're posting something and it's just like bland and people just keep scrolling, well,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's how Uncultured started. And Uncultured, it was my first foray into TikTok specifically. But
Mm-hmm.
now that molded my account into the millennial nostalgia. Like I didn't start TikTok, I didn't start social media with the idea of millennial nostalgia. It
Yeah.
was just like, oh, this content aligns with this term that I honestly didn't really know was a niche on
Yeah.
like I didn't like put it all together until I started
Mm-hmm.
seeing your page and then other pages that are
Yeah.
similar. And I was like, oh snap. Oh, I'm in that niche. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Well, up in my bio. Yeah. And like taking that, not just from videos, but like MDM Network, like I'm actively building my social media brand. And like MDM Network, I want it to be like not just about funny millennial nostalgia videos, but I want it to be like an all-encompassing content creation service slash network where I'm helping other content creators connect
That's
with people.
awesome. Yeah.
Like these conversations right here is one more building block of just
Yeah.
building. And this is also really important because we're talking about content creation in a way that is relatable to other content creators and people who want to become content
Yeah.
creators.
Mm-hmm.
So like the questions that I'm asking are very intentional where we're sharing advice from experience as content creators. And we're not just like random business marketing
Yeah.
executive,
Yeah. Yeah.
TV commercials, but social media is a different, like it has different rules of engagement. And like
Mm-hmm.
even from platform to platform, there are different rules of engagement. So like from Instagram to TikTok, two different things.
Yeah. Completely different.
Old Wild West. Don't even get me started on whatever Twitter is now.
Oh my God. I know.
This is like I can see this series like 20 interviews down the line, 50 interviews down the line. And like my media network, that's content creation services. Like I have a coaching program and stuff where I help
That's
people.
awesome.
And it's just like, this is really shaping up to be something pretty dope.
Yeah. That's good because I think, I mean, I know I get a lot of questions like, how did you end up doing this? How are you successful? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I mean, I don't think any of us, I think all of us, on TikTok, we're like, we just kind of did it and we're all still figuring it out too.
Mhm.
So it helps when you have someone who's actually been doing it for a couple of years, can coach you on like what was successful and what wasn't successful and whatnot.
And the thing was like, I started on Vine. So like back in early, what, 24, summer 2014. And I remember getting 10K followers on Vine. That was a big deal to me.
Yeah.
And then Vine died, and I was like, well, all
Oh
right.
man.
What so then I make my way to Instagram, and then I took my first, big leap into like long form content creation on YouTube and
Yeah.
podcasting. So like getting experience with different platforms and understanding short form and long form content creation and like
Mm-hmm.
images and videos and like there's honestly like a science to all of this stuff and like a social science. And I also say that because I'm getting my PhD in sociology right now.
Oh.
So like see the world in
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff. But anyway, that this conversation just is has me beaming. It
Oh, good.
has me
Good.
beaming
Well, I have one more question for you. Does it make you happy when other pages share your content, or like, do you get annoyed? Asking for myself.
It lights me up like a Christmas tree, and I respond to everybody who puts me in
Okay.
a story or reposts me on their
Okay.
thing. Like, I'll comment saying, "Thank you so much." I'll send the heart. I'll send, laughing
Yeah.
emojis, whatever. That is so dope that somebody saw my thing and said, "Oh, more people need to see this." My love language is sending memes,
Oh yeah, same. Yeah.
videos. Like, I have an entire conversations
With
just
memes.
exclusively memes and funny videos with family members and friends. So
Well,
no,
good, good,
that brings
good.
me.
Because I feel the same way. I love it, but you just kind of like, you never know. Like, I've had weird interactions with content creators too. They're like, I don't know. I take it down. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Really?
So you just kind of never know. And I'm like, you put it on a public platform. You know what I mean? Like, you you wanted people to see it, but I was just like always get confused about that. You wanted people to see it. Here I am, not only giving you credit, but I'm like promoting it. And it's just always that interaction to me is always so odd. I'm like, I mean, okay, absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna say no, but like at the same time, and I'm always like, okay, sure.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that's why I was curious. I'm like, I mean, you and I are cool, so I kind of figured you didn't mind because you always, whenever I share your stuff, you're like, thank you so much. But like, and I like literally have certain people in my head that I'm like, nope, because I already know that they're not going to be cool with it. So nope. But then I have other content creators that literally send me their stuff, and they're like, hey, will you repost this? So it's like that's why I love like getting to know other people, and if they're cool with like me sharing it, because they know I give them credit. So it's not like I'm not going to name any names, but it's not like some of the like really big meme pages like in the millions that don't give credit at all.
Mhm.
So I was like, if anything, I feel like if you're posting it publicly, what if that account picks it up and doesn't give you credit, but me, I give you credit? But whatever, if you don't want it up there, that's fine. I won't do it.
Mhm.
I just always find that interesting.
Yes, and everybody on social media is not as they seem in real life.
Yes, truth.
So that's because some people will put content creators on a pedestal, and it's like
I know.
you
It's
you
like,
don't you're only getting like 1/32 of a slice of
yeah,
their life that is on that camera or on that
yep,
screen. It's
yep.
like, damn, they also have student loan debt. Like, don't don't like idolize them, but so much because like they're also still human, and the only difference
Mm-hmm.
is that they hit post. So it's like calm
Take
it
it
down,
down a notch.
take it down. It ain't that deep. So, but yeah, yeah. That's all I got for right now. Thank
All
you
right,
again for your
of
time.
course, of
And
course.
I can't wait to see where all of your pages and podcasts go from here.
Thank you. I don't, who knows? I This time next year I might be on an island, never to be seen again. Who knows? Well, thank you for your time. I enjoyed this conversation.